As we try to grow and become better along our creative journey, there's a battle that goes on. If you're like me, I know you felt it before. It's just your old identity fighting to survive when you start evolving, becoming the version of the self that you want to be. If growth has ever felt like a fight, like something inside you is just pulling you backwards, right when you're trying to move forward, there's a reason for that. It's that your old identity is fighting to survive. Welcome back to Creative Metaphysics. Let's talk about a truth that a lot of people don't really understand. Is that when you start changing, something inside of you resists. Not because you're failing, not because you're weak, but because a part of you is trying to stay alive. It's fighting for its life. Let's dive into this. You see, your old identity actually thinks that it's you. Your old identity is built from past experiences, old beliefs, familiar patterns, things that once kept you safe. And over time, it becomes what you think is you. It doesn't see itself as a pattern, it sees itself as your identity. There was a time where I believed certain things about myself. Things like I'm not that consistent, or I'm not that confident, I'm not ready for that level. And I didn't question it. I thought that was just who I was. But looking back, that wasn't me. That was a version of me. A version of me that I had learned to stay safe. So I have to ask, what do you believe about yourself right now? What do you believe that you never questioned? And if you really look at it, is that the truth? Or is that something you learned? You see, identity is built for safety, not growth. Your identity is not just how you see yourself, it's how your system keeps you safe. It helps you avoid things like risk and judgment, uncertainty, emotional pain. So when you try to do something new, your identity doesn't see opportunity, it sees danger. So often when you want to change and grow and succeed, you feel this resistance. I remember wanting to grow, wanting to do more, but every time I got close, something inside of me pushed back. I would hesitate, overthink, pull back, and it felt like I was sabotaging myself. Actually, I was sabotaging myself on some level, but I wasn't sabotaging myself in the truest sense of the word. I was protecting a version of myself that I didn't know how to exist at the next level with. This old version of me just was in a state of, well, what am I supposed to do if we do this? That type of thing. Be honest, when you when you're trying to grow, where are you trying to grow right now? What are you trying to accomplish? Who are you trying to become? And are you feeling resistance at the same time? And deeper than that, what do you think might happen if you fully step into that next level? The closer you get to change, the stronger the resistance feels. Right before you post, right before you commit, right before you step up, that's when it hits. Fear, doubt, confusion, pressure. Not to stop you completely, but to make you hesitate just long enough to stay the same. And there's a crucial moment right before the breakthrough. There were moments when I was right there, ready to move forward, and suddenly everything got louder. More doubt, more tension, more reasons to wait. And for a long time, I listened till I realized something. That pressure showed up right before something was about to change. Ask yourself this question: what are you standing right on the edge of that you keep stepping back from? Because that edge is where the shift happens. And this old identity, it doesn't argue logically, it uses emotion like shame, and you're not good enough, or fear, this is risky, or doubt, this might not work. It doesn't need to be right, it just needs to feel real enough to stop you. Now ask yourself, when those emotions show up, do you question them or do you follow them? Because that's where the pattern lives. And if you're starting to see that this isn't just about discipline or motivation, that it's actually about identity, this is exactly why I created the Creator's First Shift. It helps you break down the old patterns that are running your behavior, the beliefs behind those patterns, and how to start stepping into a new identity in a real and practical way. It's not just about thinking differently. It's about seeing what's actually happening and changing how you respond to it in real time. The link is in the description. It costs about the same as a cup of coffee, but the shift that it creates in how you see yourself, that's where everything starts to open up. Truth of the matter is, your old identity can't come with you. Here's the bottom line: the version of you that got here can't take you where you're trying to go. Not because it's wrong, but because it was built for a smaller life. That version of you was built for safety. But the next version of you is built for expansion. Ask yourself, what part of you are you trying to carry forward that no longer fits where you're going? I ask again, what part of you are you trying to carry forward that no longer fits where you're going? And this part of you creates a resistance. And this resistance, you have to move through it, not around it. You don't avoid the resistance, you move through it. First, recognize it. Say, this is growth. Second, separate from it. This is who I was, not who I'm becoming. Third, respond with clarity. I don't need this pattern anymore. And then act. Because action is what breaks identity. Not thinking, not waiting, but action. You have to ask yourself, what would the version of you that you're becoming do right now? And then do that. Remember this: your old identity fights back because it was built to survive. But you're not here to stay the same. You're here to grow. And that means something old has to fall away. The resistance that you feel is not the end. It's the beginning of a new version of you. And that's the shift.